Welcome back to September's County Connections. Again, I'm your host, Scott Vargo. This is Karn, Dan, and Thomas, your county commissioners, my county commissioners. So we're going to start off with some news about ambulance service within Summit County and some continued progress that's being made in trying to improve that system. So who would like to start off on ambulance?
Well, we probably should start with the safety first. Vote. Everyone here in Summit County came out strong, and we had 65% approval for that combination of funding, the majority of that going to ambulance. And so some background there that we've talked about before is just the fact that ambulance systems are not able to collect revenues to support the system. This has been an enterprise system, but it was not functioning as an enterprise. So we had a huge hole in the budget. We promised voters that we would not only improve or continue the quality of service, but also partner with our fire departments. So that's what we've been working on, is figuring out the model for partnership, because it is different. It makes a lot of sense, but it's not something that other people are doing.
Yeah, I think that a lot of folks in Summit County didn't even realize that there was no taxpayer support of the ambulance system, right? And for a lot of years that model worked, but it became obvious that it was not going to work, and it was not going to work pretty quickly. And so this funding question is only 8 years, but it's the 8 years that we need to figure out all these partnerships that will form with our fire districts in order to put together a cohesive system.
And so as a result of all that, we've been having ongoing discussions with Copper Mountain Consolidated Metro District, which is their own fire entity, Lake Dillon Fire Rescue, as well as Red, White, and Blue, really working, and Flight for Life is a part of that too. But we have a really cohesive working group, and it hasn't been easy at every meeting, but I think we've come a long way so far that we've really struck a deal to come up with a new arrangement that will more or less go in effect, we hope, October 1st, which would have Copper Mountain firefighters inserted within EMS, our ambulance, and Lake Dillon as well. Red, White, and Blue will still continue to work within the system more independently, but we also hope down the road that we'll insert one of them to kind of work more collaboratively, but that's going pretty well. And it's my understanding too, I think we've had 3 locations throughout the county, and we'll move to 4, and we'll have 1 ambulance that will be staffed at Copper Mountain. But it's all really depends on how busy certain parts of the county are, and it's all through working collaboratively that an ambulance might be moved from one location to another depending on the need throughout the county. So it really helps with all of us working together and looking at the needs of the community. But I really appreciate the firefighting communities working with us on this, and we'll see what happens in the future, but we really hope that it'll be a great success.
So just a couple of things to add to what Dan said. So we currently have 3 ambulances that operate from Summit County Ambulance, plus 1 from Red, White, and Blue. So 4 24/7, 365 ambulances. With the addition of the agreements with Copper and Lake Dillon Fire, we'll be adding some additional staffing resources from those agencies to staff 5 24/7, 365 ambulances within Summit County, which is a great opportunity for us from a capacity standpoint as well as from a flexibility standpoint. What that will allow us to do is, in some cases, we don't need all 5 of those ambulances necessarily running. And so if we've got sick calls, vacation calls, other reasons why an ambulance might not be able to be fully staffed, we can reassign some of those resources and run with fewer ambulances, only when we can, of course. We'll certainly call people in if we're running really heavy. But that will allow us to save money on overtime costs, save money on call-ins that we might otherwise have, or that the fire districts might have, and provides us with better overall response within the community. In addition, this will allow Summit County to continue to evolve the system as we go forward. So we're not done, I guess. This isn't the end of the transition. We'll continue to work with Red, White, and Blue, continue to work with Lake Dillon and Copper Metro District to try and come up with other ways that we can further improve the system and make it more efficient and more effective, but always maintaining a very high level of quality across the system. So we're very excited to be able to move forward and get to the next level or the next step forward with this process. And again, it may take us 8 years to get to the end.
We've got 8 years. But
we're I think making very good progress in the first year plus that we've had that safety first money.
People should understand how remarkable this is. This partnership for this activity and what we're doing is fairly remarkable. I happen to sit on a state commission that oversees grant funds for emergency medical and trauma services, and so that goes out to a lot of different fire departments and ambulance systems, and you've got those people from leading agencies throughout the state in the room, and when you talk to them about what it is that we're doing here, they're kind of like, good luck with that, because this is honest to gosh life and death type work that we're doing here. And so folks should understand how remarkable it is for the fire districts and the county to be able to work together, and the fact that we're making this progress is really impressive. And there's a lot of people out there that are kind of, wow, that's an amazing partnership. For that kind of operation to have those sorts of partnerships is pretty amazing. So a big kudos to both Scott Vargo and Dan Gibbs, who worked hard communicating with the fire entities as we led up to the election and getting everybody to agree and endorse the plan, because this is not easy stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also important for context to just be aware that it might be easy if we were a Denver entity and ambulances just needed to go into a small geographic area.
Yeah.
But up here, we don't always have the facilities needed, and so we have these runs to Denver, and it could be when I-70 is really slow. So that means staff is out of the county for 4 or 6 hours sometimes, and that's been the most difficult part to figure out in terms of cross-staffing our ambulances. So this is exciting that we really are taking these steps where Copper Mountain and Lake Dillon staff will be cross-staffing, and we'll actually be doing these trips to Denver, which is an integral part of our whole system.
Yeah, and it's good to note. So again, 5 ambulances, 24/7, 365. So again, additional capacity all year long. And again, we do in some cases have situations where we're running 6, 7, 8, or even 9 ambulances just because of the volume of activity that's going on within Summit County. So the more that we can take advantage of the resources that exist within those fire districts, and the more that we can get them trained up to the same level of qualification as the pure EMS paramedic that's working within Summit County Ambulance Service, the better and the more flexible and the more capable a system we have. So, and all of this we're trying to do with the same or a lower cost than what we've been paying for ambulance service. So again, big project and making good progress. All right, next we're talking about firefighters, so let's talk a little bit about wildfire prevention and the chipping program. Dan, I think you've got some numbers on that.
Yeah, sure. This is our second year of the chipping program, and the first year we received a grant through the Department of Natural Resources for about $62,000. We matched it with some of the wildfire funds that we have with it, $62,500, and then this year we were able to get $100,000 from the state. And then we matched it with local funds as well. So it's been very popular. It's even more popular than last year. And to give everyone a snapshot of participation, last year we had 1,486 homeowner kind of site. People put their slash out in front of the curb and so forth. And this year, only after the first 10 weeks, we've had 1,762, and so we're way ahead of last year. The volume itself is not quite as high. We had a total of a little over 4,000 yards of chips, and this year so far about 3,000 yards, so a little bit less, but we still have some time to go too. So it's been widely supportive and popular. Take a look at the county website, and we'll talk about the new website, so I'm not sure if I should mention the old one or new one, but go to our county website and type in chipping program. You'll find all the information on where it will be in your particular area. We've had an area working on the north part of the county, and the people, also a crew working on the south end of the county and doing 2 trips. Okay. So if you missed your first opportunity, hopefully you're ready for the next round and take advantage of it.
Great.
They go till the end of September?
Yeah, right at the end of, actually October 2nd is the last, is week 14, so.
So you still have an opportunity
Exactly.
to get your slash out there.
Yeah. Good. All right. Go to the website, take a look at the schedule. It lays out when they're going to be in your neighborhood. You don't want it sitting there from October 3rd until the start of the program, perhaps next year. So make sure you know when they're coming. All right. Last item for this segment, quick conversation about Upper Blue Sanitation and an agreement between us and Summit County government and Upper Blue Sanitation related to affordable housing. So what's that all about?
Well, it was originally, there was a 1992 lawsuit that Summit County and the town of Breck were involved with. I believe it was regarding maybe a point of diversion, and it was really ongoing, and it was finally decided upon. We worked with Upper Blue Water and Sand to come up with an agreement that more or less said, hey, we're not gonna refile, we're not going to reopen this case. And the Upper Blue Water and Sand gave us $1 million in part to go towards workforce housing needs. And it was really wonderful for them to recognize that the needs of workforce housing, especially in that kind of part of the county of Breckenridge and Blue River and Farmers Corner region. And really great to partner with them on this. So I really appreciate their help with this. Trying to think what else to add. It's pretty unique, I would say, for them to, give us that much money, really. And but we're happy to take it, and we'll put it to good use for the whole community.
Yeah. So these are credits towards future TAP fees. So as we pursue projects, workforce housing projects in the Upper Blue, town of Breckenridge, we're going to be able to take advantage of basically $1 million worth of credits towards TAP fees for hooking projects up. And certainly we've got a project underway along County Road 450 right now in partnership with the town of Breck, and there'll be more projects to come. So a very creative way for the sanitation district to figure out how to help and be involved in what we all consider the #1 issue ahead of Summit County, which is figuring out how do the people that work here get to continue to live here. So big kudos to the board and to Andy at Upper Blue Sand District for figuring out how to come up with a win-win, right?
Right, and it's great for them that they have certainty that we won't refile. So that's their real positive aspect of this. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to come back for one more segment, so stay tuned.